the super fastiest dish of all. It's a very simple pasta with lemon zest and a bunch of greens. Start off, drop your pasta because you're gonna wanna get it cooking before anything else. Otherwise, it won't be done by the time you're done prepping. So I have 3/4 of a pound of spaghetti. I have 10 ounces of baby spinach. I'm just going through it and removing some of the tougher, thicker stems. And then 3 cups of flat leaf parsley. Make sure it's washed and dried. Coarsely chop it. You start with 3 cups, and then when you chop it, it'll be about, I don't know, about a cup. And then 2 cups of cilantro leaves, similarly chopped. 1 lemon, you want to zest it and the juice, so you want both. If you use the proper zesting method, zest can go right in with your greens as well. Chop up 1/2 cup of toasted walnuts, and then I believe we are ready to go. Make sure that you take 2 cups of the pasta water. You probably won't need all of it, but just to be safe, drain your pasta. Now you're gonna make your sauce right in your pot. Add a cup of the pasta water to the pot. 4 ounces of goat cheese, conveniently. This is a 4-ounce log. Stir that around, just turn it on medium heat. Gotta mush this up. Now stir your pasta back in, and then all those greens and that lemon zest and the cilantro and all that stuff goes in. Stir, stir, stir. I have yet to see the pasta at the bottom of this pot. Look at that. Remember I was up to here about 30 seconds ago, and now it's completely wilted down. You can't believe that this is gonna happen, and yet it happens every single time. You need about a tablespoon of lemon juice, give or take. Season it with salt, and dinner is served. The spinach is wilted on top. It's really so good and so easy. That baby spinach is kind of a godsend, right? You don't have to do much to it. Give it one final stir, serve it up. And the baby spinach is all wilted, so you've got your vegetable in there. It's got it all going on. Sprinkle a little bit of walnuts on top. Adds a little bit of crunch, a little bit of extra flavor, a little bit of extra protein. You have a delicious dinner in about 15 minutes. It is fresh, it's bright, and it's perfect for a cold winter's night. Today's recipe, chicken with artichokes and angel hair, I think might be one of our most popular recipes. Start off by seasoning some flour. You're gonna dredge 8 chicken cutlets in lightly seasoned flour. Start with about 1/4 cup of flour. That should be plenty. Take your chicken cutlets and then just lightly dredge them in the flour, turning to coat both sides, and then shaking off the excess. So start with about a tablespoon of oil for the first batch. Put them in a single layer. You can see as the chicken turns white around the edges, when they're this thin, that basically means it's time to turn them over. So you want to get it so that the chicken is just done, because it's going to go back into the sauce to get coated later. I feel like the chicken is cooked enough so the rest of it's coming out. Measure a cup of stock, add it to your pan. In the meantime, you can cook your pasta. I think that now would be a good time to start it. Salted boiling water. This is 8 ounces of angel hair. You want to let this chicken broth reduce by half, and you can scrape up any brown bits from the bottom of the pan. You can add your artichokes. It's 1 can of artichokes that were packed in water. 2 tablespoons of capers, also drained. I like to add the chicken back into the pan because I think that it reheats it a little bit, and it thickens the sauce a little because the flour that's on the chicken helps thicken the sauce. So it's just a very light coating of sauce. You can turn it off and add 2 tablespoons of butter off the heat. The butter also helps thicken the sauce and give it really nice texture. Now you can drain your pasta, serve it up. A little bit of pasta, and then you can spoon some sauce on. That'll moisten the pasta and give it flavor, of course, deliciousness. And then a couple pieces of chicken, beautiful artichoke hearts, and then just a little bit of fresh parsley on top, and dinner is served. That's my kind of dinner. Today's recipe is really interesting. It's an asparagus pasta with scrambled eggs. I've dropped 12 ounces of spaghetti into a large pot of salted boiling water, and I'm gonna go get my asparagus ready because this has to cook for about 8 minutes, and then I add my asparagus right to this pot. This is a pound of asparagus. Just trim the bottoms off, then I just line them all up and then cut across at that spot. It's a pretty good way of measuring. And then cut your asparagus crosswise into 1.5 inch pieces. This is a very big bunch, but you need about a pound, give or take. It's not really that important. Then it goes into the pot of boiling water with the pasta. Carefully, And you really just need to cook this until it turns bright green and tender. That shouldn't take more than 1 minute. I'm just gonna go ahead and bring it back to a boil and then drain it right away so that the asparagus does not overcook. Oh, as usual, I forgot to save my pasta water, so I'm just gonna scoop some out. I caught myself in the nick of time, and then drain the rest of the pasta. And you're gonna make your sauce right in this pot. Melt 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter in your pan. Basically what you're doing is you're making a butter sauce, emulsifying the butter into the pasta water. So add your pasta water to the pot as well. I saved a half a cup of pasta water, but I'm gonna start off using a 1/4 cup. I always like to save a little extra just in case you need to loosen your pasta after. And then you add a half a cup of grated parm. Really what you're looking to do is just stir the parm into the sauce, let it melt, and then add your asparagus and pasta back into the pot. And then you wanna season this with salt and pepper. Why not? A little bit of pepper. I'm just moving this to the back while I make my scrambled egg. Cook 5 eggs, or however many eggs you want, because it's just a little touch, and what it does is it adds such great richness and creaminess, and a little bit of protein too. Season with salt. I'm not putting any pepper in here. I know lots of people like pepper. Go ahead and add it if you'd like. Melt a tablespoon of butter in a small non-stick skillet. Add your eggs and just scramble them. You can do it slow or fast. The slower you do it, the creamier they'll be. My hint for making the best scrambled eggs really is just don't overcook them, because if you cook them to the point where you think that you want to eat them, by the time they're on your plate, they'll be overcooked. You might need to loosen with a little bit of pasta water. Give yourself some spaghetti. All my asparagus seems to have fallen to the bottom, so I'm gonna go back in and get my asparagus. A little bit of egg, and then a spoon of ricotta cheese. Shave a little bit of extra cheese on top. Indulge yourself tonight. Try this extra delicious springified dish, pasta with scrambled eggs and asparagus.